We are ready to rinseless wash.
Hi, I'm Ivan.
I'm Nick.
This is DIY Detail. Today we're going to do a simple rinseless wash on this beautiful Audi. It's been on the channel before, you've seen it, and we're going to be using something at the end that we don't use too often, but we should use more.
Ivan, I just sprayed some rinseless wash into the air.
Yeah.
We just inflated this keg, pressurized it, I should say, and the whole idea with rinseless wash is that we want to get the rinseless wash everywhere on the surface, let it emulsify, let it break down what's on there.
Yep.
And then we're gonna wanna rinse it off and put the rinseless wash on there again. If it's a rinseless wash rookie, a person who's never used this before, Ivan, what message would you have for them?
Don't overthink it. It's super easy and it's fun to do. And speaking of inflating, we need to also keep the IK inflated. That's something a lot of people don't realize. The foam in here is dependent on air. And if you get below 45 PSI, it just sputters and does all sorts of weird things. Keep it at its recommended pressure and it's happy. We happen to have an inflator here. If you don't have one, it's a good thing to have. Inflated.
That was fast.
Ready to spray.
Folks may not have the fancy tools out there and they may be getting into rinseless wash. What's an absolutely critical must-have and what are the toys that can enhance the experience?
You can use just a regular pump garden sprayer or even just a bottle to get the rinseless wash on the surface and emulsifying the dirt that's there. We're using a few fancy toys. We have the keg. The keg is great. We've got the IK foamer for the wheels and tires. You don't need these. They just make your life easier. I've got the foam.
You're kind of the king of rinseless wash. I feel like you should distribute the surface, the rinses on the surface. I'll do the foam.
Okay.
I like the foam. I like the incredible suds. I think you're the rinseless guy.
So we're just getting it on the surface. Not a big deal.
And do you pre-treat the wheels before all clean, or do you let it just raw?
All clean. Get the foam on there. Get the rinseless wash on the surface. And when you see something like this, we have a bird that decided to leave us a little gift here. Give it a little blast.
All clean at 15 to 1. What is 15 to 1, Ivan? People may just assume that everyone knows dilution ratios.
Yep, 15 parts water, 1 part chemical. And like our rinseless wash that's here, it's 256 to 1, meaning 256 parts water, 1 part chemical.
So our all clean comes in a gallon concentrate. I highly recommend using it in the gallon concentrate and then diluting it from there. But our 16-ounce bottles, they come in a spray bottle, 16 ounces. They're ready to use, so you don't need to do foam.
No, you don't need to foam, but the foam does help. And you don't need to buy an expensive IK foamer. They have smaller ones. They have all sorts of different models, and you can buy some online too that are very inexpensive. Some are even battery operated. In our goal of keeping it simple, a garden hose. You don't need a pressure washer. And honestly, this one is just on the verge of needing the garden hose. We could rinseless wash it the way it is, but it's always safe to do chemical, rinse chemical, especially for the wheels.
People may call it rinseless, but we like to emphasize rinse less, right? So that does mean you can often, but not always, do the car without a hose. But if there's ever a question, use the hose.
Yeah, if you have a doubt, use the hose.
If it's barely dirty, then go ahead and use rinseless wash without a hose.
Yeah.
But if you keep up on your vehicle, if you're a weekly washer,
yeah,
I think you can honestly get away with the no hose wash fairly often.
Now, this vehicle is winter driven, still has the winter tires on it, and look at the beading on this.
Oh, it's cleaning up nicely already. We haven't even touched it yet.
No, and it's kept outside. It's not, not a vehicle that is particularly, it is cherished by the owner, but it's his least cared for vehicle, we'll put it that way. It's the daily driver. Even though this is a really nice vehicle, he's got some nicer ones.
Ivan, when do you like to use a no hose rinseless wash? Because earlier I said you can do it often, and then I was thinking about it, I'm like, I always prefer to use a hose if I can.
If you can, but there are instances where you don't need to. We have a couple videos on the channel where we do it without a hose, nothing like that. You don't need to use a hose all the time. It's just an option. Speaking of the hose, I can put it away now.
As Ivan puts the hose away, I'm struck by a lot of experience, which did teach me that a hose actually uses more water than a pressure washer. You'd think that gentle garden would just, a garden hose setting, would not be a lot of water, and it's a lot of flooding, Ivan, of the paint.
It definitely puts out more water than the pressure washer. Now, I'm gonna reapply rinseless to the surface because we want that extra bed of lubrication there.
Also to the wheels, and just do rinseless on the wheels, that's what I thought. Now it's probably a good time to talk about the makeup of the Rinseless Wash solution, because to the viewers on YouTube, it could just look like you're putting water on the paint, Ivan.
It sure looks like I'm putting water, but there's 256 parts water and 1 part
hyper-concentrated solution.
Very concentrated, hyper-concentrated, super concentrated, whatever concentrated you want to call it, it is concentrated. And it's a mix of polymers and surfactants that really actively clean the surface.
I see what appears to be a stick here. Now we missed it with the hose.
Yeah.
What can we do with the sprayer? Hint, hint, right? So use your sprayer or your keg or whatever you can to your advantage. If you miss something with a hose, flush it off the paint with that PSI that you've got, whether it's from this or something else. That's kind of a trick that, use your eyes, right, as you go along in detail. You need me to move this keg for you?
Nope.
Okay. Usually Ivan's got it handled, folks.
Rinseless wash is all on the surface, and we can start washing the vehicle.
Ivan, you've got fresh water, but you don't have rinseless wash in there. So what's the dilution ratio for folks?
256 to 1. 256 to 1, 4 milliliters to a liter, 1 capful to a gallon, or 1 ounce for every 2 gallons.
Got about 4 gallons. Oh, go ahead.
4 gallons, 4 capfuls.
Yep. I adopted the capful per gallon mantra in my head a long time ago. I got 4 gallons, 4 capfuls. It's super easy.
Yep. And we'll need a legacy sponge.
Ivan, as we dip our legacy sponges in our rinseless wash, when would be a good time, like a setting or a vehicle or a person, where this kind of wash would be ideal?
For everyone, but if you're a professional detailer, Rinseless Wash is definitely your friend.
Do you want your sponge full of Rinseless Wash solution to maximally clean your panel?
Not at all, except for one thing. That is a convertible top. The rest, we have the sponge on the verge of dripping.
That's kind of one of your famous sayings, on the verge of dripping. So if you're new to the channel, you may not have heard that, but I was playing dumb there. I've heard you say it a few times.
More than once, yeah. So going from the top down on the panel. And there was some dirt on this vehicle, so just put it in my wash bucket, squeeze it out. Normally I would bring this to the paint, but I'm not going to squeeze it out this time. I'm going to let it soak up a lot of that solution and bring it to the roof. And I want to flood the roof with the Rinseless Wash.
Why do you want to flood a convertible soft top?
To emulsify the dirt that's in the weave of the fabric. We want to float the dirt out of there.
Now you could use our flag tip brush for the convertible soft top. What do you like on the soft top, if you could choose?
I like the sponge to distribute the moisture, and if needed, then the flag tip nylon brush to agitate. But we know that this vehicle is well cared for. So.
Anything change when I'm cleaning glass with a legacy sponge?
Not at all.
Dare I say rinseless washing is fun, Ivan?
It sure is.
Okay. Because I mean, this paint is well cared for, the vehicle is not a giant truck, We're not using a pressure washer. It all feels very simple, very easy, and very rewarding too. I think it's so easy to forget in all the detailing content on YouTube and the internet, and like how complicated it can be, that this is just simple and fun.
Yep. And rewarding, because you end up with a great result.
Have you talked about how often we re-dip the sponge in the bucket, Ivan? Because I know some people are like, what's the black foam? What's the red foam? When do I use them? How often do I re-dip?
Black foam and red foam are identical other than the color. They're just there to remind you that, oh, I started with the black side, I'm gonna finish with the red side, or vice versa. Pick a side to start with and pick a side to finish with.
If there's ever a really dirty panel,
Yep.
something that you can just tell is nasty, you use the red side, and then after you've used it, you can go ahead and use the black side. And you do that until whatever's emulsified in the rinseless solution no longer looks muddy. It's actually being picked up in the sponge. It's clear, and that's when you're good to redunk and then move on to the next panel.
Right. Now, I'm not in a hurry to dry this vehicle off. I'm gonna let Mother Nature help here. So while it's air drying a little bit, I'll clean the wheels. I have Rinseless Wash on my wheel bucket. So tire, and then the face of the wheel.
Why tire and then the face? To me, the tire would be dirtier and you'd be messing the face up.
It's the same dirt that's on both.
Does it cling more to the tire?
No, not really.
Okay.
And then I do the barrels. Starting at the top, when I pull the brush out, I inspect, and this one's nice and dirty, so I'm gonna flip it 90 degrees. Do the next section, pull it out, and my bucket ran away here. Dip it in my bucket, comes out clean, move to the next section. People look at our Tampico brush and go, ooh, I wouldn't use that. Once you've used it, you won't go back to another brush.
Wow, these wheels are interesting, Ivan. The outer face is black, but the barrels are gray.
Yeah.
Is that normal? I could not know Audi wheels. I could be a total rookie here. That seems odd to me.
Yeah, it's not, some wheels are like that. Depends on the manufacturer and what they're going for.
Yep.
What look they're after.
It's interesting because I don't think many people will ever see inside the barrels, right?
A lot of people don't know the barrels exist on their wheels. It's a detailer thing.
And yet we're cleaning them because to do it right, you do it right. You get every square inch and nook and cranny that you can.
Yep. Now you've got the keg over there still, Nick?
The keg is over here, yep.
So since I put the hose away, we'll use the keg to rinse out the wheels.
Good call. Ivan, as I'm rinsing these wheels, there's something with rinses that I think is really interesting. You can actually tell where you've washed and where you haven't. And I left a little clue for you where I didn't wash on my side. I was hoping you could find it so you could show people, this has been touched with Legacy Sponge, this hasn't.
Well, very easy. It's this back corner here. And the reason we can tell, if you look at the water here, how it's looking and reacting, then you look at the water here. This is the sprayed on water that hasn't been touched. This with the lines is the water that we washed. So I'm just gonna go back over this and you can immediately see the difference.
Incredible Suds is different than soap. I used to think Incredible Suds, it would be so easy to tell where I've been and where I haven't. It's actually easier with rinseless.
Right, you can see the rinseless where it's just sprayed on and where it's been agitated. Whereas with suds, yes, you can sort of see, but if you have an overexplosion of suds like some people are used to doing, then it's very difficult to see where you've been and where you haven't been.
All right, I'm gonna keep flushing the wheels. If you're a mobile detailer and you're in a crunch a little bit or you don't have a lot of free flowing water access, you can use your rinseless wash to flood the paint. Some people ask, Ivan, can I use iron remover with the decon towel without a hose? And I'll tell them, I'm like, if you have enough rinseless that you can flush with afterwards, I mean, it's possible, right?
You can, should you, and maybe not.
So proper technique here with the rinseless wash. We're gonna start top to bottom, right, Ivan?
Yeah.
And we've already really washed the face of the wheel, so I'm more concerned about what? The all clean in the barrels? Or what am I working on here?
The all clean's not there anymore, but there was a lot of grit and brake dust in the barrel, so we just want to flush that to the back.
Okay.
And you can see it coming out of the back of the wheel there. It's normal. The wheels are always angled back a little bit to do that.
There we go. Oh yeah, look at that nastiness coming out.
Yep.
Yep.
Drying towel, Nick.
It is just this simple, guys. We're about to be done. Now, we could just use rinseless as its own drying aid, right?
Right. This is a coated car. We have C6 Mist. This is designed specifically for coated cars. It adds a bit of gloss, but it doesn't add protection because your coating is your protection. You don't need additional protection when you have a coating. Having C6 Mist on the surface makes drying easier, safer, and at the same time, gives a little boost of gloss. So Nick, I'm just going to go down my side just very quickly, and I'm just putting a little bit on the surface. I don't need a lot. My towel is actually going to spread it out for me.
Are you a one spray per panel? It kind of sounds like maybe you're doing a couple sprays per panel, Ivan.
I'm just missing it on the surface, as the name suggests.
Okay. Well, that's a skill set, you know, the glancing spray. Because there's been a long time I used to kind of do this.
Yeah.
And I've seen you do a lot of these guys.
Right. The farther away you are, the better it is. Now, on the sides, maybe not. You don't want it falling on the floor.
What do I need to know about soft top glass?
It's the same as any other glass.
All right.
When it's a glass one. Sometimes they're plastic, and that plastic you need to treat with respect.
Now we have the Diva drying towel here.
Yep.
Our friends at the House of Rags have generously allowed us to sell their towel on our website as a substitute for the drying blanket, which as of this recording is out of stock. We have more coming, folks, but in the meantime, the Diva does a great job.
Yeah, it sure does. And they actually bill this one as a rinseless drying towel. So,
just because of, I guess, what, the size? Because you don't have as much water on the surface? Or,
yeah, there's less water on the surface when you're using a rinseless, so you don't need as big of a towel.
It's all designed to work together, right? The rinseless wash giving you less water to work with, and then a smaller towel. Because I am used to our big old drying blankets, Ivan.
Yeah.
I kind of like how small this is. You know, different. It's nice to change things up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like variety is the spice of life. Now you say professional detailers, find a product line, stick with it. You know, don't waste your time trying new stuff all the time and trying to mix and match and you know, get lost in the flavor of the week. But for the enthusiast, fun. Try things. How do you balance that as a pro, Ivan, without getting bogged down in all the latest and greatest hype?
Watch reviews, read the Facebook groups, see what others are saying, and if you can pick one line of products, especially when they're engineered to work together like ours, then it makes your life easier if you follow that recipe. We're giving you a recipe for success here. We're just suggesting that you follow it. And once you actually do try our recipe for success, you will see the success that goes with it.
But don't cooks out there know how to break recipes and make stuff up as they go? Like really good cooks can make anything work, can't they?
They can make anything work, but it's a lot of work for them to do it.
And it takes a lot of experience. So if you have a lot of experience, then, you know, do what you do. But just know, this recipe, this system, outside of the towel, right? I mean, I mentioned the towel as part of a rinseless system, but
yeah,
I mean, the systems that we talk about have been in your shops for what, decades?
Yeah.
So they're tried and tested.
Right, and now the whole vehicle is washed. I'm going to dry the roof and we'll see what this towel can do here. So just lay it on this towel. There we go, does a great job. Now, of course, the roof is not going to be 100% dry. It is fabric, but we've taken the excess moisture out of it, so it's not going to drip all over the car. Park it out in the sun for an hour and it'll be beautiful.
Any concern about the, you know, the mist in our towel getting on the cloth top?
No.
You know, people are gonna think things they always do.
Yeah. And if you want to, you can actually put mist on the top.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, if you give me an option, Ivan, you know I'm gonna take it.
Yeah. That's more than enough.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, that does dry real nice.
Yeah.
Is the cloth top protected?
Yes. We'd use interior ceramic on it.
No wonder. I mean, it just feels like it's super easy to dry. And
Now, I'm going to be using mist on the wheels. A little more generous there, because they didn't look too protected. So, mist isn't the greatest in protection in terms of durability, but it will help. There we go, Nick. It's looking like the day we coated it.
Ivan thinks we're done, but it's missing something very critical.
Tire dressing.
Usually you're the one to add the tire dressing, and
I was wanting to see if you'd pick up on it.
yeah.
Quick pass of the door jambs.
I like to wipe down the wheel or air dry it with a leaf blower if I can before applying tire lotion. Is that necessary, Ivan?
No, it's a water-based formula, and these tires are almost dry anyways. Little touch of C6 mist in the door jamb. Help to dry it out, give it a bit of gloss and protection at the same time.
Ivan, is rinseless wash only a good method to use on a coated car?
No, any car can benefit from rinseless wash, just like any car can benefit from mist. If you've got, let's say, ceramic gloss on the surface, then for the next 3 or 4 months, add mist. And then after 3 or 4 months, do a decontamination, put the ceramic gloss back on, keep going.
I will say, a coated car is a joy to clean.
Yeah.
Whether you're using rinseless wash or incredible suds. And if folks want to know how we got this polished and coated in the first place,
Yes.
they should watch this video right here.